In this video, we'll be installing SaxStudio GelPads on the right-hand stack, or right-hand F-sharp, F, E, and D on this Alpine Alto. We'll start by installing the F, E, and D keys, leaving the F-sharp empty so it doesn't get in the way of the leveling. We'll be replacing the adjustment cork on these keys later on. With the keys off the horn, add the appropriate amount of adhesive, place the pad in the cup, and rotate to distribute the adhesive and remove any air pockets. Put the keys back on the horn and re-engage all the springs. We'll start by leveling the F using the drumstick and a bit of cloth to depress the keys since the pearl will get pretty hot. Gently heat the pad cup using the drumstick to apply just enough pressure for the key to close. As the adhesive melts, the pad will level out and you can stop heating. As the adhesive cools, keep a gentle pressure on the pearl to keep the pad level. If any parts of the pad are not level and light is coming through, use the awl and put a slight downward pressure at those spots, continuing to level until the adhesive hardens. If the key is back to room temperature and still not level, you can gently heat again and follow the same steps. We'll use the exact same process for the E and D keys. Next, we'll remove all the keys and install the F-sharp pad. Here, you'll want to make sure that the adjustment screws on the F-sharp that close the G-sharp and Biz keys are loosened so they don't get in the way. Add adhesive, place the pad, and rotate. Put the F-sharp key back on the horn and engage the spring. Heat the pad cup while gently closing the key by lifting the arm normally moved by the F, E, and D keys. Again, use the awl to help level while the adhesive cools. Next, we'll replace the cork on the F, E, and D keys and adjust them relative to the F-sharp. Remove the old cork and clean off any remaining adhesive. There are any number of solvents you could use, but here I'm just using isopropyl alcohol. With the cork removed, put the keys back on the horn and engage the springs. First, we'll try to find a good thickness for the bottom of the key arm, which determines how far the keys will open. Here, we'll go with 2 mm thickness, and we'll sand it down if needed. Next, we'll try different thicknesses of cork in between the F, E, and D keys and the F-sharp key. Here, the 1.5 mm thickness has the F-sharp key closing slightly earlier than the others, which is what we want. With the keys off the horn, apply a bit of contact cement to the cork and keys and let it sit until it becomes tacky, around 10 to 15 minutes. We'll cut off the amount of cork we'll need, stick it to the key with a decent amount of pressure, and then trim the excess. The contact cement needs several hours to fully cure, so we'll wait a while before we try to do any sanding. With the keys back on the horn, use the leak light and the sandpaper strips to adjust each key. Starting with the F, check the adjustment by applying a light pressure until the F-sharp closes. If the F-sharp closes before the F, insert the sandpaper strip in between the arms of the F and F-sharp keys with the grit facing the cork. Gently close the F key and pull the strip out. Repeat these steps until the F and F-sharp close at the same time. We'll follow these same steps for the E and D keys. Next, we'll set the adjustment screws on the F sharp for the Biz and G sharp keys. Using the leak light, hold down the E or F keys and slowly tighten the Biz adjustment screw until both the Biz and right-hand key close at the same time. The G sharp adjustment screw keeps the G sharp closed when the right-hand stack keys are closed. Holding down one or more of the right-hand stack keys, tighten the G sharp screw until it first makes contact with the G sharp pad cup. Try depressing the G sharp key and check to see if you see any light. If so, tighten in small increments until no light is visible. Note that tightening too far will prevent the F sharp from closing, so keep an eye on that as well. Finally, we'll check the regulation of the F, E, and D keys. Ideally, when you press any of these keys, the F sharp should start to move at the exact same time. Not an absolute requirement, but contributes to a horn that feels good to play. Lightly touch each of the keys, and notice if there's a gap between when you press the key and when the F sharp moves. In this case, the E key is regulated, but the F and D are not. Using the sandpaper strip, we'll lower the E key by sanding the underside cork. Insert the strip with the grit facing up, hold the E key open, and remove the strip. We'll need to do this several times, checking the regulation of the F and D keys as we go. In this case, the F and D keys are pretty well lined up with each other, so we won't need to touch those. If, on the other hand, only one key had extra movement, then lower the other two until they line up. And that's it! Another more challenging sequence, but now we've got a well-adjusted and regulated right-hand stack that will make playing low notes a breeze. If you'd like to learn more about GelPads, visit our shop at SaxStudio.us.